estate. And it's my pleasure to invite on stage our moderator, Dame Joy Malika Rothenberg, international lawyer and entrepreneur.
Hey, tu primo di?
Good afternoon. As we near the end of another amazing ABRAHAMIC Business Circle Conference, I invite you all to come with me on a journey. You're welcome to close your eyes for this part of the panel, or not close your eyes if you so choose. Imagine, just imagine, that you enter your office, you open your door, you walk in, you sit in your comfortable chair, and you click on your computer. And you read your usual set of international periodicals. You read that the stock market is plummeting. You read that inflation rates are rising. You read that central banks are very nervous. You read that in some countries, like the United States, we've entered a recession or are entering a recession. And you sit back in your chair and you think to yourself, I'm smart, I do my due diligence, and I want to do something. I want to do something. And you've invested the real estate market and you decided to put 19 million euro in a commercial piece of real estate that's located in Park City, Utah. And the reason you choose Park City, Utah is because you've done your homework and you know that the supply is low and the demand is great. And so you open your computer and you make an online transaction to invest in a 19 million euro property, commercial property, in Park City, Utah. And most importantly, you feel good. You feel good because you know you made a good decision. So you pour yourself a cup of red wine, you kick off your shoes while no one's looking, you put them on your desk, and you feel good. You say, I am smart. 1 week lapses. You come back into your office, you open your door, you walk in, and you sit in your comfortable chair. You click on your computer, you enter all the crypto codes, and you're trying to follow the real estate transaction that you just made. Your name is not there. The property is not there. How can this be? How can this be? The reality is that a cyber crime happens once every 39 seconds. And no one in this room and no one in the whole world is immune to being a cyber victim. So the question is, how can we protect ourselves? When billions, even trillions, and a rising number of currencies are being lost to thievery and fraud and cyber crime. And what's particularly interesting about real estate transactions is we expose ourselves to the net. We bare naked with our name, our address, our credit card information, our bank information. Everything is out there in the net, and anyone in the world at any time can attack you. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have much to learn from our international panel of experts. And it is our hope that our panel will help us learn how to protect ourselves and our real estate transactions from stealing, fraud, and so many other cyber threats. We hope to identify risks, minimize impact, and guard our data. I am deeply humbled and honored to be amongst very high caliber international panelists, Pavel Pavsud, dhoogenkamp, please come up.
Please, Derek.
And Pablo Bailey. Where are you, Pablo? We have so much to learn. Pavel Pavsud brings us decades of rich knowledge and experience from being a lead portfolio manager, business analyst, and leader of governmental projects. He currently oversees a staff that manages and delivers multiple projects in the payment industry, like Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, Deutsche Bank, and other online and offline payment projects. Pavel developed and pioneered SMS mobile payments for Latin America and African markets, which resulted in over 1 million global transactions. Pavel, aside from not getting tired after you paint for 5 hours, can you tell us, what are the current threats for real estate business owners from cyber criminals, and what are mitigation measures?
Yeah, thank you very much, Joey, and thank you very much, Dr. Rafael, for inviting. Well, first of all, what I have to say is that the risk is like when we get sick, we think about our health. So when we get an attack, as you explained, we start thinking about cybersecurity. What went wrong? The example that you explained to the public is related either to farming, where someone makes a replica website and sells some stuff, where you invest money in something that doesn't really exist. Yeah, or it could be a virus that is already in your laptop. One of the two things. I gathered some high-level statistics. So every third company, which is more than 30% of real estate companies surveyed by KPMG, suffered at least one cyber attack once per year. So it means that every third. So if we have representatives of real estate companies here, it means that, like, if there are 6, so at least 2 of them suffer. Well, first of all, what can be stolen? Basically, there are 3 things: personal information, financial information, business information. So if we are talking about and both rental websites, I don't know, Airbnb, Booking, VRBO, and so on, selling websites, selling property. If someone steals your personal information, what can be done? Identity theft means a hacker can sell something on your behalf or buy something on your behalf. That means in both cases you lose and hacker gets the money. Second thing, financial information. What can be done if someone gets access to the number of your IBAN, the full 16 digits? Attach direct debit to it. You have no idea what happened. You never know. Next year it happens that, like, you lost €1,500 and you don't know. You cannot return them. Third, business information, transactions, your client's portfolio, some confidential contracts and stuff like that. What tools do hackers use? Malware, viruses, phishing, Trojan horses, and so on and so on and so on. So plenty for some of them, maybe for 40% of them. Even the words have not been invented, but there are so plenty, and they keep growing, measures, it's, well, too technical, and since we have very short of time, I will just highlight the main measures into 4 modules. The email security, the primary, even for people who don't have any websites or any online presence. Front-end and UI security, starting from masking all the sensitive information. So if you are required to put the IBAN, mask 12 digits, yeah, put X and stuff like that. Of course, backend security, servers, system, central database, and so on. And endpoint devices, so laptops, printers, scanners, everything connected to your business network is vulnerable. If one gets infected, all the business network gets infected. So these are the major highlights which have to be protected. One important thing that we need to know is that hacker by itself is not a human. Yeah? It's a software. So we cannot spend our emotions if we face an attack. There should be a plan prepared long time ago, an action plan. What do you do when an attack happens? Point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. In every specific situation, for every specific business, it's totally different, but it has to be done. If you're a big company, you have your quality assurance team that does that. If you're a small company, you have to think yourself, but you have to carefully choose the provider of security socket layer and so on and so on. So, well, and important tools, maybe just highlight major important tools that were introduced quite recently, and they play a major role in the protection. Yeah? The multi-factor authentication, not sure about Dubai, honestly, in the Middle East, but in Europe it has come to a standard and already on the governmental level. So it's called strong customer authentication. So 3 points, something that the customer knows, something that the knows is like a password or a passkey, something that the customer has. It can be a smartphone or a hardware token, and something that the customer is. It could be fingerprint, Face ID, so stuff like that. So when the transaction happens, not only the financial transaction, could be sign up, could be sign in, log into some secure environment. Strong customer authentication in Europe now is a standard. It will populate as a standard in many other countries. For example, in payment industry, where I work most of my time, in Visa, MasterCard, they already developed this called now 3DV2, second version, where when you want to pay something, you have to open another application, you have to put your fingerprint to authorize or decline the purchase. And actually, this is one of the tools that reduced the attacks to almost 99%. So this is a very important tool. And for real estate companies, whether this is sales, rentals, or just informational resources, this is vital for login, for sign up, for any kind of transactions, reservations, and so on and so on. Of course, automated testing, firewalls, antiviruses, all these standard things must be done, and they must be planned very, very far in advance, and not in the case like you explained, of course. Yeah, so, well, some high-level plan. We cannot start any business without such plan.
Thank you so much for your valuable insight. Derek Dhoogenkamp is the CEO of Yala Properties. He's also the co-founder and managing partner of Aeroverse and board member of Alliance API. Derek has a great track record and is a specialist on creating and launching new real estate destinations. In the last 5 years, he is also including metaverse, proptech, blockchain, and AI in launching his new real estate projects. He has relabeled smart cities to conscious cities. Derek, considering the constant adoption of new technologies in real estate industry and its diverse verticals such as hospitality, development, management, how can an organization improve its detection of security breaches?
Yeah, it's very interesting. Thank you, Rafael, and everybody who's here, and my friend from Yes We Trust, also Stefan. I really think that we should look at it from a completely different angle, because everybody is trying to solve things which are there at the moment. But for example, let's take real estate development. You take, for example, one company which is Palm Fusion, or you take a company which other biometrics like Alliance API does it with voice. If you delete everything and you just use your voice and your palm as your identification, you don't have any more plastic, you don't have any more keys, you don't have any more seed phrases. Nobody can take it from you because it's your body, it's yourself. And so I believe we should go more and more to that direction, because nobody can steal my body. Even if they cut off my hand, there is live verification of Palm Fusion. The vein structure inside the body cannot be changed. Your voice is unique. You can, even in US, HSBC is already doing everything by voice in the identification. So if you have a combination of those two, it's really good, and it's also GDPR PSD2 compliant, and contactless, which means COVID compliant, and live verification, so you can use it for access control, electronic ID, and for example for new destinations in real estate. So does it mean conscious cities? So conscious because no environmental impact, your body is already there, high cybersecurity, behavior. For example, with Alliance API, we're doing also behavior analysis. So you prevent the problem before it happens. So what does it mean? That you really prevent it, because there's patterns in people's behavior constantly, and you can detect it. I mean, Myro was also talking about this in his robotics. So it's the same for human behavior. And all this combined, it's not, everybody's always talking about the problem of the existing problem, like when it gets attacked, but you have to go to the source, or maybe be disruptive through, for example, blockchain technologies and metaverse, and then look at it from another side. So let's try to prevent it and use your body, which you already have, and your voice and your biometrics to solve this cybersecurity problem completely, like 99.9999999%. So let's take one example. I go into a room and people can ask me, yeah, but somebody can force you to say something, somebody can take your hand and force you to put your hand. No problem, because for certain transactions I have a certain code. One code is, for example, 1234, which is my voice PIN code. But for higher transactions, I have a different code, right? And then they still force you, but then I have a silent alarm code. So I'm saying 4256. What does it mean? Immediately the transaction looks like it's going through, but in reality it's not going through, and all alarms are being sent. Same if you have, for example, your hand, right? Then you look at the veins inside your hand, the print of your hand, the 3D of your hand, biometrics of your hand, and that is your key, your access control, and your electronic ID. So then you can do certain gestures which trigger these silent alarms. So it is completely safe, and if you're not alive, nothing works, right? So they can kill you and they can do nothing, because without a living body, they cannot do anything. You cannot speak anymore. You cannot. Your blood is not flowing anymore in your veins. So good luck with that. So I think we have to look at it from a completely different focus. Same what happened through COVID. You have to look at what we have. Why will we create new things? I don't understand. We have already a body. We already have a voice. We already have an iris. We already have a print, even though print is the least safest. But we already have all this, right? And we should use this to solve the cybersecurity problems in real estate, for example. So, and do it on a conscious way. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Derek, for those brilliant insights. And now, Pablo Bailey, who is the CEO of OpenSpring, which is a company based in Madrid that is widely used and developed a comprehensive cloud platform with millions of customers and more than 200 end-to-end data center services globally. Pablo, Is cybersecurity different in real estate than from other industries?
Hi, how are you doing? I think on the last, if I do a good job like my colleagues in the panel. So it's not different. I think that cybersecurity, you have to be managed in a holistic way. The way that you have to approach it is you got two things. You got the corporation itself, and you got your product, which is basically the buildings that you're building, that you're creating. In commercial real estate, it's been a huge change. So the building management systems, the Internet of Things, are creating a whole bunch of devices that are making basically smart buildings. In cybersecurity, when you create new devices, when you create new technology, you also create new opportunities for hackers to find vulnerabilities in those devices. And if there's a vulnerability, it will be found and it will be attacked, and you have no escape. You know that what they say, if you haven't been hacked, it's because you don't know it, because you most likely have been hacked. The other question is the capacity of companies of being able to evaluate themselves. The question that a CEO should make their CISO is, are we protected? Do you have evidence that we're protected? Do you know if somebody will try to hack us? Will he succeed? So I think that's the main question that every corporation should do to themselves. I think the capacity to evaluate yourself is key to be even able to solve future problems. Because the first principle of cybersecurity is be prepared for the worst. Be prepared for the worst, but it can happen. It's demonstrated over time more and more that no matter what you do, you can still be hacked. Okay, you can put all the measures in the world, but they're always a step ahead. Just bear in mind, like if all the hackers in the world build a corporation, that company will have the same market cap of Apple. It's a huge, huge market, and it's growing. So be prepared for the worst is key. The second thing is you gotta plan ahead. So you need to have a business continuity plan, you need to have backups, you need to have the proper measures in order to avoid being hacked, even though you can be prepared for the worst. And my final comment on cybersecurity is that humans have a natural tendency to trust. You trust. You trust that when somebody sends you an email saying that you can have an iPhone half price, and oh, this is wonderful. So you click the link, you put your bank account, you put everything, and oh my God, it's fake. And it's unbelievable. That's an actual case that I did in the past company I worked for. It was 15,000 employees, and we sent it, and 68% of the employees put all their financial information in that link.
Wow.
So you have to think like a hacker, because you cannot trust basically anything. These guys are evil, they're mean, they're looking for any loophole they can find to get what they want. Yep.
Thank you so much. There'll never be enough time to learn from our enlightening panelists, but I'd like to ask one more quick question to each one in the interest of time and trying to keep to the rhythm here. Pablo, what should I do as an owner of a real estate company to protect myself?
Very quick, the same thing that I just said. I mean, I think that one of the things that every company should have and should do on a regular basis is a security audit. As the hard questions that many technology directors don't ask themselves. And those hard questions need to be answered, and they need to be answered well. If you're not prepared to say what are your weakness and what your strength, and based on that, you have to make an analysis and then plan what is the best course of action.
Thank you so much. Derek, how can an organization improve detection of security breaches?
Of security breaches. Yeah, I mentioned that before. Like for example, with Alliance API, we do look at behavioral patterns of people. Second of all, we use AI learning, machine learning, to detect, so to prevent, instead of when you're already attacked, to solve the problem. And again, I believe that also it's really important, sorry for that, to be cloud agnostic. Because I believe in metadata and not in big data. So what does it mean? If people don't know, it means that I could use, for example, token structure or something small that you have, for example, a headset, and you're not dependent on big companies from America, for example, for all your data, which have your data. So it uses this small data, which you can give, and you can not with confidential information, but you can still get the same result. So this is something really different from using a lot of metadata instead of big data, and be cloud agnostic, and be platform agnostic. And also, I love the biometrics. And also for industries like, for example, Aeroverse is a private jet aviation company which I have. And in the aviation company, it's very, very, very sensitive. And then you can use also blockchain technologies and to have a better air experience in your life. And also create more freedom and disrupt the air industry, which is one of the most non-disruptive industries in the world, similar as banking, which is very non-disruptive. And I believe that this is really good, but let's not forget, we have to keep our consciousness, and we have to keep that in the end karma wins always, so just do good. So karma will win over all the hackers in the end. Thank you.
And finally, Pavel, any other interesting insights to share?
Yeah, well, I can only agree with both panelists, and I can say a few more things about, because we are on the merge of traditional database structure and blockchain database structure. So why many companies are progressing towards the blockchain? Pharma industry, real estate industry, even Swedish government. Already on the government level, on the real estate, tax authorities, government land registry, real estate companies, banks on the client side, banks on the seller side, loan providers, and so on, everything now in Sweden exists in blockchain. So the reason is, first of all, as mentioned by Derek, this is secure up to 100%. We cannot say 100%, but up to 100%. It's close to impossible for attackers to have blockchain. Why? So let's say we have digital identity. So if we put a simple example, here we have, for example, 200 people. Let's call it blockchain. Each of us has a digital identity with a QR code. It cannot be replaced. It has my photo. It has certain biometrics. Let's say some security token. It cannot be replaced. It cannot be compromised. It cannot be confronted. So no one among these people can be changed or exchanged. The identities, right? This means the security of this network. The second thing, transactions then happen, the information that is shared within blockchain. It is shared within this closed loop of network. It doesn't come outside because the digital identities belong to certain people. So, we are moving towards blockchain. Of course, we are, most of the companies are now using traditional databases, but of course, the single database is very vulnerable. As a blockchain database, it's shared, it's distributed, everyone has access to the same level of information, so no manipulations with title deeds, contracts, anything and everything. So that's the reasons why we are moving towards towards blockchain, and in many countries it's already accepted and regulated on a government level. Like in Dubai, for example, in 2023, it's year of blockchain.
Thank you so much for your invaluable insights. Ladies and gentlemen, as the good doctors told us in the beginning of the conference, we are all so physically vulnerable, and as our enlightening panelists told us now, we are also financially vulnerable. It is our hope that this international and impressive panel showed us how we can better protect ourselves and our companies from cybersecurity risks in real estate. I hope you're all improved by hearing our panelists. Thank you to the leaders of this amazing conference today. Special and well-deserved thanks to founders and visionaries of the Abrahamic Business Circle, Dr. Rafal Nagal, Tilman Lauk, and Andrea Galuzzo. You lead us in this circle in a concentric upward spiral that drives us to higher and higher heights every time. Also thanks to Wonder Women. Yes, Wonder Women. Veronica Nagal, Fatima, and Marikar. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not Balthazar, it's them. For their outstanding devotion, tireless dedication, and professionalism. Finally, thanks to each of you for choosing to join the circle and to add to our event today. You each play an integral part of making our circle the best and strongest international forum that it can be. Enjoy the rest of the program.
Someone left a notebook up here? Anything good?